I'm super excited about all the online tools that are available now for gathering information. And artificial intelligence like ChatGPT is only one of those many tools. Our role really is, as staff, is really to assess how do we best use these tools without losing our own authenticity in what we do.
Like many of you, I spent some time over the break getting into ChatGPT after it arrived on the scene in late 2022. And I thought to myself as that happened, this presents a lot of challenge, but it also presents a lot of opportunity for society at large and particularly for universities. And Macquarie is no exception there.
I find it really difficult to imagine what our working lives are going to be like in another 10 years' time. But I think it's pretty safe to assume that artificial intelligence is going to play a major role.
With ChatGPT, personalised learning has come a lot closer to reality, and our learners now have the opportunity to take charge of their own learning in a powerful way that we've not seen before.
I've been looking at how we responded in higher education to the the beginnings of Google and the beginnings of internet. And what I'm finding there are people saying, how are we supposed to cope as an institution with students' capacity to cut and paste? And we can see here 20 years later how ridiculous it was. And I think we have to recognise that we really run the risk of overreacting to this.
I'm really excited about the advent of ChatGPT because of the accessibility it begins to give society to an artificial intelligence technology that I think will be genuinely transformative.
Can you imagine the world that our students are going to be learning within with this type of technology? What it also does is it frees up our brains to be able to be truly creative and imaginative.
So when you look to artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, the less that we do this drudgery and groundwork around expressing ourselves and writing, the more that our brain will devote its energy and development towards other areas of thinking, of creative thinking.
That one of the most powerful things that the arrival of an easy-to-use interface for a machine learning tool such as ChatGPT brings is it will call us to seriously, thoughtfully, and quickly look at our assessment practices across the university.
What really excites me about ChatGPT and tools such as this is it provides us with a fantastic opportunity for looking at how we do assessments and for redesigning our assessments, making them really future-focused and authentic activities that are assuring the quality of learning while also giving our students the skills that they're going to need in the workplace.
So while I think it's very important that we don't do something knee-jerk and ban artificial intelligence technologies from our educational endeavour, I do think we have to think very seriously about what that means for our assessment regimes.
I think what's really exciting about this period of assessment design and redesign is that necessity is the mother of all invention. So when something like ChatGPT comes along, it forces us to have to reflect and reevaluate our approaches to see what works and what doesn't.
It's exciting because our assessments will become even more authentic, and then our students will be even more prepared for the workplace because authentic assessments are about how closely it resembles what they will be doing in the real world.
We need to engage deeply with workplaces in order to understand how it's currently being used and also how they imagine it may be used in the future.
We really need to trust our students because they're here to learn. They're here to take away a degree that brings with it skills and qualifications that they'll use in the future. And if they're to rely on a source like this, it's not going to give them that advantage when they go out in the workplace.
I think our hope is that the aim in the future would be to implement OpenAI in the curriculum. That would be what we would be doing in our careers later on.
As we empower our community to adopt artificial intelligence for positive impact, we need to remember that we operate in a system of mutual trust with a clear expectation to adhere to our values and act with integrity.
What we need to try and ensure as academics is that we're teaching students how to use this tool ethically and responsibly. They need to take that information, use it as the thought starter, distill it, evaluate it, add to it, synthesize it with other ideas they might have or other research they're doing, and present that as their work.
I invite you to join in this ride. It will be a fun ride, an exhilarating one, at times a little daunting, a little confronting.